was falling apart. It was a Firefly. And I'm one of those people that drives the car right into the ground. You know, by the time, if you can buy an old car for $1,500, which at that time, that's what we were buying cars for. And I guess we're moving up in the world because this one cost about $5,000. Anyway, so when it would get about, you know, enough things wrong with it that it would cost about $1,500 to fix it all, we just buy another one because it was just, you know, why put the money into a car that was going to have more things go wrong? Of course, then you get new problems in the new car, but which was an old car also. There was something profound I was going to tell you. Oh yes, the windshield wipers stopped working. I couldn't use the windshield wipers, and so I tied a rope to each windshield wiper. And it went across the front. It tied to the one windshield wiper and then to the next windshield wiper, and then it came in the side and went all the way across inside and then back out. And so then I had somebody I was driving with, and it was their job to pull the rope back and forth. Oh, that was fun. You never pulled that rope, did you?
I'm not sure, but I remember it. I remember being very scared of being stopped by the police. There will be hundreds of dollars worth of fines, I'm sure. Maybe thousands.
Thousands? For just not having your windshield wipers working?
Well, that was not the only thing that was wrong with it, I think. I think it was more.
That's right, when the fines for the things that are wrong with your car are more than the cost of another car, it's time to change. You just don't necessarily have that much cash flow, right? That you can do that. So sometimes you have to stick with what you've got. You know, in Cuba, they haven't had any new vehicles since 1956, since Castro came to power. Or was it 54? You know when it was?
No.
Well,
I was still in Holland.
So life was good?
Well,
I
wasn't following it that closely.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were about young. Okay, that was before I was born. I was born in 55. Okay, go do the math. Quick. Let's see. 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 2005, and it's 9. So something 4. Hey, that means I'm going to be 54 this year. Wow, I'm getting old. Anyway, we weren't going to talk about that. Oh, I like this place too. Look at that river back in there. I want to go kayaking in that one too. It's right past the turnoff to my friend's house, and so if I'm ever going anywhere, I would turn off and go to my friend's house, like if I'm going to be in that area. So I never have a kayak, and I just go, maybe she'd go kayaking with me. I have to ask her. Alright, well that's all the details that you needed to know about our makeshift windshield wipers. Now, I think Red Green would do something like that. But what was I to do? I had no windshield wipers, and I had to have windshield wipers. I mean, I had to go somewhere, and it was raining. I had to be able to see. So that was just such an excellent plan. I think I drove my children to school, and they had to pull the windshield wipers back and forth. Then, of course, when I was driving, I had to be the one doing the pulling, and that was not as easy or as safe. I think I had friends with me once. I think I had Mary with me. I think I did that. Oh, look at those rocks. I wonder how these rocks get there, you know? I mean, I know they're pushed by glaciers, but are some of them permanent? Like, were some of the rocks go all the way down in and attached to the bedrock of the planet? Or are some, you know, some of them are big as a house. They've just been pushed there? How do you find out? You have to dig around them, right? I have Mary who digs around rocks. Do you remember the video about Mary digging around the rocks in the car trail? It was in the woods, so it wasn't really a people trail, it was a car trail. Okay, I'm getting a little bit tired of talking about my life and whatever I'm talking about. There's some more rocks. One day I drove along and I took pictures of all the rocks. I had my camera and I was on my own, and so I stopped at all the beautiful rocks and I took photos, like I take 20 photos in one spot of close up and far away and this angle and that angle and that angle and the curves of the rocks and all. Then I went home and I tried to paint it. Now that painting is in my living room. I think it's on the wall. You might have noticed it. Anyway, it's over the door from the living room to the kitchen. really good at painting rocks. And so I asked an artist once how to paint rocks, and he says, instead of telling me how to paint a rock, like just tell me how to paint a rock, he says, well, it depends on what kind of a rock it is. You know, if it's depends what kind of stone, because this kind of stone is this color and that kind is that color. I think it's pretty easy to paint a rock if you paint it with knife. You put a few colors on your palette and you pick them up with your knife, and so they're all kind of blended, so you get little dots of different colors, and then you smear it on your canvas, and that's how you do it. And then of course with the white, you see, to dot it with snow, then you'd also just put little bits of white on your knife and you drag it along the rock color, so it would only touch it in places. Look at that. There's all sky and almost nothing else. But we're getting closer to this hill. I like hills that just stick out. They just sit there up on top of the earth. Well, I'm getting tired again, so I'm going to go. Ta-ta. Hey, are we almost near that sign about the lake?
No, we have to go past Galadar, I think, before we turn up towards the
Okay.
and then
Alright.
facing the other way, so I mean, yeah.
Oh, so I'm not going to get a good view of it anyway. It's getting pretty here again.
If I knew exactly where it was, I would stop and turn around.
You'd do that for me?
I would. I'm not sure whether it'll recognize exactly the spot. I don't want to search for a long time to find it.
He's so nice. He would turn around for me to take a little video of that thing. I did a video of it once, but I didn't get close enough. I was still across the highway. Blueberry Road. I asked somebody, and there are no blueberries down there. They must get a lot of people going and looking for blueberries down there. That house had a spider on the side of it, a humongous spider. What are those, name of those spiders in Harry Potter?
No comments. No comments about Harry Potter.
No comments. Arachnids, or something like that. Anyway, I better go. Goodbye.